Is everything all right, madam?
Olivier, Madame Olivier, and no, everything is not all right. The vermin known as the Ashwinders have infested nearby Clagmar Castle, disrupting not only our sense of peace, but our valuable trade. It appeared that they were finally going to slither away until Sylvanus Selwyn arrived.
Sylvanus Selwyn?
Head rat. My guess is that if someone were to take out Selwyn, the rest of the Ashwinders would disperse. But Selwyn is a skilled wizard. I certainly can't take care of him myself. Believe me, I wish I could. I'm at my wit's end.
Sylvanus Selwyn? I thought Victor Rookwood headed up the Ashwinders.
Selwyn's one of Rookwood's lieutenants. Not quite as terrifying as Theophilus Harlow, but a menace nonetheless.
Where is Clagmar Castle?
Clagmar Castle's along the south coast, south and to the west of here.
What's so dangerous about the Ashwinders?
They're not your typical thieves and extortionists. Not that typical thieves and extortionists are lovely company. They would not leave poor Bella Navarro alone. She'd given them everything, but still they kept threatening her. She was ready to go back to her family in Italy, almost lost her livelihood. They are ruthless.
I could take care of Selwyn for you.
Goodness, no. I'd never ask a student to confront Selwyn. But I'm offering a nice bounty on his head. Feel free to put the word out. I only want Cragcroft to go back to normal. I'm tired of living under the thumb of Selwyn and his cronies.
I've no idea what Selwyn sees in this place.
Nothing
left to steal from
Revelio.
That curiosity young people tend to nurture never ends well for them, does it?
Selwyn would be as sick of this hole as we are if he'd been camped out here as long as we have.
Expelliarmus! Confringo! Confringo!
Try again.
Expulso!
Go.
Expulso!
Oh, what's the light go out?
Expelliarmus! Levioso! Accio!
Careful, this one takes a punch.
Incendio! Confringo!
That's mine!
Reducto! Confringo! Potato!
Better luck next time.
Accio! Reducto! Reducto! Confringo! Oh! Trouble's brewing. Confringo! Revelio!
Someone over there.
Reducto!
Is that you, Royal?
Reducto! Incendio! Confringo! Reducto! Reducto!
Incendio!
Reducto! Head in a clap! Accio!
You soon better charge of my
Incendio!
family.
Confringo! Defendo! Expelliarmus! Levioso! Petrificus totalis!
Quite conductive, aren't we?
Petrificus totalis! Incendio! Descendo! Expelliarmus!
It's no retreat.
Confringo! Levioso!
Incendio!
Expulso!
Incendio!
You little...
Petrificus totalis! Petrificus totalis!
You'll feel twice the pain.
This'll liven things up for you.
Expulsion!
Expulsor!
Incendio.
Petrificus
I've
totale!
seen your magic.
Get yourself out that way!
Incendio! Expulso!
Expulsor!
Expulso!
Petrificus totale! Finito!
Expulsor!
Petrificus totale!
Expulso!
Revelio.
Let's see how you like this.
Petrificus totale!
Expulso! Flash of inspiration!
Expulsor! Coward!
Confringo. Confringo.
You've heard a storm is coming.
Expulso!
Sendo.
A lucky shot! Petrificus totale!
Confringo.
Expulso! Incendio!
Defendo.
Expulso! Expulso! Expulso!
Petrificus
Expulsor!
totale! What shall you do?
Incendio! What are your faults on?
Expulsor!
Petrificus totale!
Incendio!
Levioso.
It's you who interfered with us.
Expelliarmus.
I think you'll like this.
Confringo. Confringo.
Expulso!
Levioso.
Defend yourself.
I shall kill you!
Petrificus totale!
Revelio.
Afraid to face me?
Expelliarmus.
Aha! Back for more.
Might want to look up.
Is that the best you can do? Expulsor!
Sendo.
You may be more skilled than most people.
Confringo.
Expulsor!
Protego! Quite
Expulsor!
to be an attack of some sort.
Levioso.
Is it you who
Expulsor!
Expulso!
This'll liven things up for you.
Incendio.
Expulsor!
Confringo. Defendo. Sendo. Levioso.
Expulsor!
Incendio.
Expulsor! Let's see how you like this.
Descendo.
You've made a grave mistake. Expulsor!
Confringo.
Expulsor!
Expelliarmus.
My wand!
Defendo.
Quite the interesting fighter, aren't you? But
Confringo.
now, that's your match.
That's it for Selwyn. I should go and see Madame Olivier back in Cragcroft about that bounty. Selwyn has been taken care of.
You defeated Selwyn? Merlin's beard. A student took down one of Rookwood's top filth. Then I suppose this bounty is yours. Well deserved.
I'm glad I could help protect Cragcroft from the Ashwinders.
The thieves will finally leave us alone. Thanks to you. You're welcome in Cragcroft any time. It's such a pleasant place when it's not being threatened by Ashwinders.
I finished the activities you assigned me, Professor Garlick.
Wonderful! I hope you gained a greater appreciation for the flora in our lives. I am forever enraptured by it. Just yesterday, I spent hours pruning my self-fertilizing shrubs and flutterby bushes. Didn't realize how long I'd been at it until the sun began to set. Well, if there's one thing I love to see more than my plants thriving, it's one of my students doing the same. Now, ready to learn flippendo? Chin up, keep a light grip, and it's all in the wrist. Let's see you give it a go. You will want to focus with this spell. Nothing as mortifying as knocking back a colleague when all you wanted to do was move a few pots. Wonderfully done! If you'd like to practice a bit more, you're welcome to do so here in the... Just mind the plants, please. Flippendo! Look at that! You're a natural.
Professor, I was wondering where you're from. What's your background?
Oh, how nice of you to ask. Well, let's see. I grew up in London, right on the Thames.
That sounds lovely. All the sights and bustle of a city.
To some, yes. I used to dream of living in the country, but it wasn't until I came to Hogwarts that I felt truly at home. Mind you, it did take some time, and whilst it is my fervent hope that each student eventually feels as at home here as I do, it is not always the case.
I suppose that makes sense.
Well, we each bloom differently, don't we? Some of us, like Devil's Snare, thrive in the shadows, whilst others crave the attention of a bouncing bulb. And we each grow and thrive according to our own plan. Oh, I was terribly nervous when I arrived at the castle. You see, as a child, I knew nothing of witches or wizards. You can imagine how astonished I was to receive my letter from Hogwarts. I spent a good deal of time alone in either the greenhouse or the library my first days here.
It does take a while to adjust to being here.
Precisely, and I was remarkably fortunate. In fact, a seventh year took me under her wing during those first days. She remains one of my dearest friends.
How fortunate.
I was indeed. I dare say you'll find that the friends you make here at Hogwarts will last a lifetime. Now, I'd best get to my recent delivery from the Magic Neep. Mr. Teasdale promised me quite an assortment of seeds this week. Lovely to see you.
Hello again, Mr. Moon.
Oh, I was hoping to see you again, my young friend. Gladwin Moon, Hogwarts caretaker, at your service. First, please allow me to apologise if I seemed a bit, unsteady when we last met. I'm afraid I had a rather disconcerting encounter. Although I hear your visit to Hogsmeade was even more eventful than mine.
I suppose you could call it eventful. I certainly wasn't expecting a troll attack.
Oh, of course not. And from what I understand, the village was lucky you were there. In fact, my recent visit to Hogsmeade is the reason I was hoping to bump into you. I could use your help with something. Do you see that curious statue over there? Watch what happens when that light changes from day to night. Now, if you wouldn't mind humouring me for a moment, see if you can remove the moon from the statue.
Here.
Oh, odd little contraptions, aren't they? It seems the statue vanishes once the moon is removed. Which, incidentally, can only be done at night. Why don't you hold on to that one for now, and I'll explain more as we walk. Ever since that fateful day in the village, those curious statues have begun appearing about the castle. A fair number have been strewn around Hogsmeade. Someone, it seems, is trying to torment me. You see, that day in Hogsmeade, I turned a corner and came face to face with a boggart, or shapeshifter, if you will, which takes the form of whatever scares you most. This one took the form of a demiguise.
A demiguise?
Yes! Terrifying creature that can see the future. Wholly unnerving. I encountered one when I was a lad in Korea. Terrible experience. Those statues are demiguises. The moons, I assume, are an uninspired play on my name. Some jackanapes used a boggart to learn my greatest fear and use it against me. I have my suspicion as to the scoundrel or scoundrels responsible. It is my hope that they will slip up and reveal themselves as the statues disappear. That is why I need your help in removing the statues.
Why me?
A couple of reasons, frankly. First, your daring do against those trolls in Hogsmeade has gained you a reputation for fearlessness. Second, as macabre and hideous as a demiguise is, most would find my fear of them unwarranted. You, however, have seen how they affect me. I'm at my wit's end, young friend. I simply can't bring myself to go near them. In fact, I know of 2 statues right here in the faculty tower. Perhaps you could start simply by removing them, so I can go about my evening duties.
I'd be glad to help you, Mr. Moon.
Oh, I knew I could count on you. First, you know how to cast a disillusionment charm, correct? You'll want to do that before wandering the tower at night. Next, you'll notice that the door is locked. However will you get in? Alohomora, that's how.
But what about curfew?
Curfew? Oh, tosh! I sense you're a bit like me when I was your age. Oh, the school was my oyster. And I took advantage of it. Oh, everyone loved me for it. Oh, those were the days. Now, you'll find one statue in the prefect's bathroom and the other in the hospital wing. Good luck. Oh, and thank you.
Alohomora.
Well done! You're in. Remember, use a disillusionment charm so no one claps eyes on you. This is a restricted area of the castle, after all.
Revelio. Alohomora.
your students getting along this year?
Rather poorly, I'd say.
Is that so?
We're raising a generation of coddled cape flappers that can scarcely tell the difference between aconite and asphodel.
Yes, well, it's still early. Perhaps
Revelio. This must be the prefect's bathroom. Revelio.
Always mucking about, stirring up trouble. Perhaps Ranrock and Hislop wouldn't be so combative if the Ministry would allow them to have wands. One of those got or hell, I suppose. Anyway, I'm not afraid of Goblin Rebellion.
Hello, Amora.
Why doesn't he goblins alone?
Revelio.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented blue powder.
Revelio.
From the hospital ring on account of my venomous tentacula. Not at the moment, no. Plenty of other perils and pitfalls to send them my way, though. Well, told you to begin my rounds now.
Revelio.
I was terribly disappointed.
I had plans to get a few galleries on Hogwarts. I know when I see a winning bet, and Ravenclaw would not have been that. Not this year, anyway.
I'm positive.
What was what?
Perhaps not. Anyway, I had high hopes for Hufflepuff. I was finally going to learn the Quidditch rules.
Whole of the human condition. Oh, how's that? Well,
Revelio. Hello, Mr. Moon. I have the moons you asked me to collect.
Oh, goodness! You're as fearless as I'd hoped. An excellent start. If we can collect more, it may shed some light on who's behind all this. Of course, I first suspected Peeves. He drove the previous caretaker, Rancorous Carp, to an early retirement with his intolerable buffoonery. But that does not explain the boggart in Hogsmeade, does it? No. I am determined, with your help, to discover the identity of my tormentor.
It's definitely intriguing. I'd like to help you solve this mystery.
You, my friend, are a gentle person and a scholar, and I have something to offer in exchange for your assistance. Now, remember, the moons are only retrievable at night. Thus, I encourage you to use a disillusionment when necessary.
How many statues are there to find?
I don't know precisely, but I've spotted dozens. Seems they're everywhere I look. You have your work cut out for you, if you were to ever unravel their meaning.
You mentioned offering something in exchange for my assistance.
I did. Once you've brought me enough moons, I'll show you even more powerful forms of ALOHOMORA. Not every lock is as easy to pick as the faculty towers.
Understood. I shall keep an eye out.
I appreciate that. Oh, and I knew you were the one to ask for help. Keep at it so we can solve this mystery.
Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings! Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I actually have some moons for you.
Oh, my mind feels lighter already knowing those statues are gone. I did promise to show you how to improve casting ALOHOMORA once you'd brought me enough moons. With that knowledge, you'll be able to break open even stronger locks. However, we don't yet know who's behind these statues. Still plenty of the foul things lying in wait to torture me. Oh. If you bring me more moons, I'll show you how to cast the most powerful form of ALOHOMORA known to wizard kind. At least known to me. Keep looking for those moons, You'll save my sanity and we may get to the bottom of whoever's behind all of this.
Revelio. fine now, demiguys.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased.
Revelio. Alohomora. Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings. Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I actually have some moons for you.
Dear me, you have been busy. Incredible. Thank you. You're ready for the final ALOHOMORA lesson. With this knowledge, no lock shall ever stand in your way. You have done all I asked. I only wish I knew who put those statues everywhere in the first place. Alas. If you do find more, please feel free to remove them. You'll be doing your caretaker a huge service. And if I ever find out who the bully is behind this cruel trick, I shall let you know. Thank you once again for your assistance and tenacity. Now that you've mastered ALOHOMORA, no lock is unbreakable. But do feel free to keep finding demiguise statues and removing those moons.
Alohomora. Revelio.
Please don't waste that lovely complexion on such a frown. There, isn't that better?
Pardon me, sir, but about those curious demiguise statues I've seen.
What? Who are you? Why do you ask?
They're quite clever.
Oh, thank you. A lot of craftsmanship and care went into them. I assume.
So you did create them?
Yes, I did. It was a ploy to give that pathetic oaf Moon a taste of the grief he caused me years ago. You are the one who's been pilfering them.
I am, at the request of Mr. Moon. I received your owl. On your stationery.
Ah. Well, fitting Moon would enlist a student. Too cowardly to do it himself. Hasn't changed a bit. Even when we were at school, he was a cowardly bully. Gave me a horrible nickname, which I shan't repeat. I was thrilled when we left school and he seemed gone for good. Then I started seeing him around Hogsmeade. It was too much. Even if I do take satisfaction in that his life's destiny was to be a lowly caretaker.
He is a bit much for a caretaker, but he means well. And he's terrified of those statues.
I know. You should have seen his face when that boggart appeared. Oh, priceless. That's when I knew what I needed to do. I simply didn't want to encounter him anymore. So, I shrewdly put a boggart in his path to learn his greatest fear. I then created the demiguise statues to keep him in his place, so to speak. The moons were an inspired play on his name. It worked brilliantly. Until you started clearing them out.
The statues are a form of bullying. You'll know better than him. Perhaps it's time you both moved on.
Fair point, I suppose. If they've terrified him, as you say, he may have learned his lesson.
Mr. Moon, I've learned who's behind the demiguise statues. It was a classmate of yours that you bullied, Pirsa Pemberton.
Oh, I might have known. Pigtails Piers.
I don't think he likes being called that.
Of course he does. Oh, he had such flowing locks, and we used to laugh about them. I laughed the hardest of all. Clever, clever man. I'd no idea he was so devious. I must go and congratulate him. Whatever statues remain seem less terrifying now that I know they were put out by old pigtails. Continue collecting them if you like. As for me, I'm gonna go and pay a visit to my old friend.